Welcome back to our third podcast of Anything is Possible in March. Today we will be doing bracketology. Let's dive right into the Midwest Division. Tennessee, they got a great program, offensive side, defensive side of the ball. You want to talk a little about them, Nas?
Yeah, so they are a great team leading the SEC. They don't have the best defense, but they have a pretty good defense. But what we were talking about earlier was their forwards are really leading everything, except for assists per game, which Jordan Bone is leading. Their guard,
and that's a team kind of like Duke. If you have a team that's being led by forwards, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you have forwards that can play their
definitely
hard out, and so
it's a good thing to have.
So Grant Williams is leading points per game with 19 points. Kyle Alexander, forward, 63% shooter, which is an odd number. So that shows that he shoots it a decent amount. He has about 8 points a game. Now let's go to the defense side of the ball with Grant Williams again. The forward rebounds, they're just leading. Kyle Alexander with the forward blocks per game, 2 blocks per game, steals per game. Grant Williams again, he's a great forward.
Let's move on to that Baylor-Utah State.
Yes.
I think Utah State, they got that one quality win. They're top of their division. I just think they get in just because of that win. But Baylor, yes, they're a Big 12 team. They have won good games. But I don't know how far Baylor can go.
Baylor's a good team.
I've got them losing in the first round. Utah State, it's a good team. And Baylor is also a good team, but you never really hear their name when somebody brings up March Madness. I just don't see them getting anywhere past the first round.
I think they're a good team. We'll argue about that tomorrow. So now let's go to Virginia Tech. School that made it to overtime against FSU. I don't think we can really spread anything about them. Don't talk.
They're a very good team, and they're a team who's played good games against the Virginia team.
They don't really trash talk a lot.
And they took down Duke.
Yeah, they did at home.
At home.
I think that 12. I think Virginia Tech secures that 5 spot, but I think
they have some tier 1 wins.
Tier 1 wins.
They're really good.
I think NC State gets that spot just because they're in the ACC and they've played a lot of really good games and they've been close.
Over Tech?
No, the 12 seed.
That's that 12 spot. Yeah.
But it's Seton
I'm
Hall.
gonna stick with A State in that.
Yeah.
I'm pulling for Arizona State. I like them, but I don't think they're gonna beat Virginia Tech.
They're good. But Seton Hall versus NC State, they're a great school. Both teams are really good.
Yeah.
So now let's go to Wisconsin. Okay, so Wisconsin is a great school. They won a couple years ago, I believe. With that really tall guy,
Frank the Tank.
Yes, Frank the
and
Tank.
Sam Decker.
Yep.
That's a good team.
No. Okay, but then I have Liberty pulling out with that 13 spot.
Yeah.
Liberty is a really good school. What do you guys have at that 13 spot?
I have Vermont there.
I have the same thing with Julie. Vermont's a good team.
Vermont's a good team, but
they've beaten GW and George Mason, but they do have 2 bad losses against UMBC. UMBC, good team. They lost a lot of their seniors last year, so I just don't think they'll make the cut this year.
UMBC, and also you guys have a little bit against UMBC with the Virginia game.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit, but I
don't see them making. I just
they're
mentioning
fifth
it.
in their thing. I just don't see them. Let's move on to the 6-11 game. I have VCU there against Ohio State. I think.
Yeah, I've got VCU bumped up to the 6.
Yeah. VCU is a great team.
Yeah.
Their offense, their defense. Their offense isn't the best, but defenses win championships in the A-10.
And they're really shutting you're shutting teams down on defense.
Yes, they really are. They steal the ball. Last night, offense. I don't know if you guys saw, but VCU stopping a really good George Mason team on senior night. to 37 points.
Yeah.
That's not
I think-
that many
yeah.
points.
I
They
mean,
won by
that's
a lot.
down there with NC State and not Clemson. Was it Clemson? No, it was Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech. I've got a question for you guys. Do you think Virginia Tech could pull that off in the March Madness
No.
against like maybe a Seton Hall that's good but like not great?
I think honestly I think Virginia Tech will win that just because.
Yeah, I don't see it
they're-
happening. Virginia Tech, they will have just gotten their phenomenal guard Justin
Yes.
Robinson back,
Yeah.
but he again, they will have just gotten him back, and
They gotta ease him in.
they can't start him.
Yeah.
They
They can't start him, but they can play him.
Right. And I just think when you have a senior guard like that, who's hurt and he's like a main part of your team,
Yeah, you're right.
I think it's
But I think
hard to.
I think in the first game, unless they get close, they're gonna leave him out. True. Not the.
I still think Virginia Tech will win
Yeah.
that game.
yeah, but
I'm saying that Virginia Tech wins, but
yeah.
okay. So now let's go to Texas Tech, Georgia Southern.
I wanna
Georgia Southern.
I wanna talk a little about Texas Tech. Wow, I mean they've really brought their program back over the past 2 years. They have a great defense. They're number one in defense, but they're second in letting up points per game, just behind Virginia. But I mean, I think Texas Tech could, defense, as we say, defense wins championships. But their offense on the side of the ball is really good. They run a hard 2-3 zone, and it's really working for them with the shifting and
Texas Tech is a team that I
Sliding
want
in,
to
yeah.
watch. I
Yeah.
like to watch them.
If I'd paid money to watch them play in the tournament, I mean,
But
Yeah.
I would
also
just watch
Georgia
them on
Southern.
TV, but-
yeah,
Georgia Southern is a good school, but they're not
They don't
great.
really stand a chance.
I don't think that they can match up against a
I mean,
really good Texas Tech
but
team.
you guys have to remember the March Madness.
Yeah, anything is possible in March. That's our name.
I just don't think I see it happening. Texas
Yeah.
Tech is just a phenomenal team.
I can imagine any team being beat after UVA getting beat.
Definitely.
yeah, I
I mean,
actually have Duke going down in the first round.
What?
whoa, Julie,
Okay,
that's
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
yup.
That is interesting. Against who is that?
Campbell.
Campy Bill. All right.
You might give me a heart attack, mister.
Yeah.
It'll
Let's
be even more of a heart attack if they actually lose.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go to that 7-10 matchup. I have Villanova and Minnesota. Minnesota, as Julie
Wait,
said, 7-10
Oh, yeah.
matchup.
Minnesota after
they're-
that
They're my
amazing.
dark horse team.
Yeah, and they
Yes.
won last night against Purdue. I mean,
And-
that's a great win.
They're a team that I've been saying, like, this is a team that can make a run for the money.
You said
Yeah.
it yesterday. They beat Purdue, which is a great team.
Yeah.
Purdue might go down maybe to a 4 spot, but we'll see that later. And now let's go to the
2-15 matchup.
Kentucky. Kentucky is a good team.
I
Don't
don't
have-
think Kentucky's going to be. The Kentucky, they're a 2 seed in the South, but not in the Midwest.
I have Duke at that 2 seed. I have Duke at that 2 seed. Honestly, like
I don't know why you have Duke at the spot.
Well, I
Because- no. Duke is a good school that beats Virginia twice.
yeah, I know that, but I just honestly for them, I just think you have a lot of their team is basically a ton of freshmen, and you're playing back-to-back days. It's like
I don't play back-to-back days.
Well, I mean, you play if you play the 21st, you play the 23rd. You have 1 day over. You have a lot of you didn't play a lot of your players this season. You just played Zion, Jack White, R.J. Barrett, Marcus Bolden, Trey Jones,
yeah.
and Cam Reddish, and that's it. You're playing 7 players.
And
And
that
so when you
McCollum
do
guy.
that, yeah, and so when you do that, I mean, you have to
yes,
exercise
but
your
they're
team a
still
little
going to
more.
be a 1 seed. They haven't lost many games. They're great. They're just a good team in general. I don't know why you have them at that 2 spot. I have them as a 1 spot.
All right,
I don't like Duke that much, but I've got to give
They're-
them one
they're-
spot.
they're a
a
good
phenomenal
But
team.
yeah, honestly,
They're a great team. And we'll talk about this later.
And if they
Yeah.
keep winning, they'll
Yeah.
win
If they
that one.
win that, win the ACC tournament, which might happen. You can't sleep on them.
Yeah.
'Cause even without Zion, they're still a good team. They still have RJ Barrett. They still have
Cam
Reddish.
Yeah, they
and
still
Jack
have a
White,
bunch of
and
good
Trey Jones.
teams. And I don't know why you're talking about them like they're a bad team, because they're not.
I'm not. I'm just saying. I just think that there are some teams out there that can beat them that deserve
Yes,
that
there are
one
definitely
spot.
teams that can beat them.
Anybody can beat anybody, but
Exactly.
And Duke is another team like UVA that's just not that great
in the tournament. Yeah, definitely.
and Julie was talking about this earlier. If Campbell beats Duke, do you want to put Campbell at a one spot?
No.
Because anybody can beat anybody.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. It's about because I could match up against your team and my team could be horrible, but we could like UMBC. UMBC is not a one seed.
No.
UMBC should never be a one seed unless they get
some crazy world.
yeah. But-
Let's move on to the West Division. I think Gonzaga at that 1 seed and Iona at the 16 seed. Gonzaga, they're great, but I think one thing that Gonzaga should really consider about doing is, yes, they're a Division II school just like Johns Hopkins, but I think they should move to the Pac-12 and get more D1 conference play just because they're playing like San Francisco and like really small schools, and you already know they're going to division every year.
I think when I look at Gonzaga, I think they wouldn't be ranked so high if they were playing harder schools.
Definitely.
And that's why I don't really pick them to go very far.
But the thing with Gonzaga is when they show up against a big game, they finish that game. They beat I don't know if you watched that Duke Gonzaga game in the Maui.
They
for
beat
the Maui
them
gym.
when they had Zion.
Yes, but they went all out. They worked so hard, and I think they have a great coach over at Gonzaga. I
No
think he'll be there
offense
a
to
long
you,
time.
but I think that you're a little wrong about them being if they go to Pac-12 or anywhere. I think that they beat Washington. I think they beat people like that because they beat a couple of good schools, and I just don't think you can sleep on them. Julie, what do you have to defend yourself? Oh, okay.
Let's try to thought. Who were we talking about again?
Gonzaga.
Oh, so Gonzaga, you're correct. They're not a team that you can sleep on.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think they have enough practice this year against solid teams.
Yes, they have, but
I've got them going 3 rounds.
yes. But honestly, I think that when they say you have like your preseason and you play a couple good games,
Yeah.
and it's supposed to get harder for conference play. They're not getting any better with the conference play. I'm sorry,
I agree with you on that.
but I think Gonzaga's a good team, but can they really go that far?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. But a couple years ago, I'm pretty sure, didn't they make it to the Final Four?
Yeah, they actually yes, they made it to the Final Four and lost. They went to the championship, but they lost to Carolina, a good Carolina team.
When was the last time that Virginia went to the
1984.
my point. So now let's move on to Syracuse.
Wait, what point did you just make?
That Gonzaga just made the tournament, and you can't sleep on them because they just made the tournament, and also Virginia hasn't made it since 1984, and it's hard to make it to the conference,
Still.
to the tournament, to the finals of the NCAA tournament.
I'm not saying we're
where
not saying that
anything can happen.
We're not
and
saying that it's easy, but I'm just saying does Gonzaga have enough talent on their
I
team?
think that they do. They
I
have,
think they have enough talent without enough practice.
Exactly.
I think they just needed to make themselves a harder schedule.
Yeah.
yes.
And they
I
made their
agree with you
schedule
on that.
too easy.
But
Because they're a D2 school.
they're a D3 school.
Gonzaga's a D2 school.
They are? I
Yes.
thought they played D3 in football.
They play
in
play
football,
D3 and
but basketball are D2. And
Oh.
if they're just playing all these D2 teams,
yeah.
and they come to like an a very good ACC
But also,
team.
St. Mary's isn't that bad. They play St. Mary's twice a year and they crush them. St. Mary's isn't a bad school. Don't.
Yeah.
They're not bad at all. They're a good team.
Right. Anyway, Syracuse and Ole Miss.
Yes.
I'm taking Syracuse
actually-
in that game.
I don't.
Yeah.
Ole Miss is a great team, but Syracuse is just
It's just
They're very athletic
Yeah.
team and
They're
a
great.
big team.
They're great, but I don't have Syracuse. I mean, I don't have them at that. I don't have Ole Miss at that spot. I actually have them lower at a 10 spot.
Who do you have them at 9?
I have St. John's at a 9. St. John's is a good team.
I still see Syracuse winning that game.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
So
I think. Do you guys wanna? Let's move down to that Kansas Belmont. I have Kansas Belmont there for the 5-12 matchup.
where's that?
That's
The 5-12
5-12 matchup.
Oh, 5-12.
Kansas.
I have Buffalo at that spot actually. Buffalo.
Yeah.
Buffalo is no. You can go
No,
if you want.
it's fine.
Okay, Buffalo is a good school. Buffalo is you can't sleep on them. They're gonna be a good team. They're gonna, and I also have Texas at the last 12 spot. Texas is also a good school. They've beaten some ranked teams.
They have.
You also can't sleep on them, but I don't think they pull out the upset. In the 5 and 12 spot, I want to talk about this with you guys.
That's a spot that gets upset a lot. Those 12 seeds are usually pretty good.
Yes, they're usually D1 great schools that have been ranked in the year. They just didn't do too well in the last 5 to 10 games.
Yeah.
But I still have Kansas in that 5 spot.
Yeah,
Kansas
that's fair.
did take that loss.
I
just think
Yeah.
Kansas is such a reliable team.
Yeah, Kansas is a great school. But you've also got to look at what they've done in the regular season.
Right.
And that's why I have Duke at a 1 spot, which we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
And then, so the next one down, the number 4 Florida State versus New Mexico State.
Yes.
Florida State is a good team.
Florida State is a good
And
team.
they're a team that I see,
But
they could go far.
I don't
New
have
Mexico State's had some upsets, but I just don't see them beating Florida.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
have FSU at that spot.
Wait, which one? The 4?
4 versus 13.
I have them. I have Florida State there.
Okay,
Yeah.
I have Michigan State. Michigan State is a
Interesting.
great school. Michigan State has beaten some players, but schools. But after that game, you've got to admit, if you watched it, Florida was down. Florida State was down by a bunch. Florida State is a good school. Don't sleep on them. They're not bad at all. They can crush your team.
Right, but it's
At the
just,
end, they're a great second half team.
but if that team, that Florida State team, is just a team that I don't see getting any higher in the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Unless
Because
they
have
win
to
the
win the
AC
ACC tournament.
or we're in finals.
Right. Because they're a phenomenal team.
They
And
are.
Yeah.
they've got great seniors. It's just a team that I don't see any higher. And that Michigan State team that you're talking about is, again, another great team that's usually very reliable in the tournament. Last year they were upset, but in years before they've taken down UVA multiple times. And
Michigan State. Yeah, I mean,
they're,
great program.
they're teams that make it to the Sweet 16, Elite 8. And they have another one of those teams. So I'm keeping them at that 3.
Yeah, honestly, I'm gonna keep him at the 3 also just because Tom Izzo. He's one of those people that have changed the game of college basketball. But I think he's a good coach. I want to see how they bounce back from last
I
year.
agree with you, Alex. But now let's move on.
Iowa State St. John's is what I have.
Iowa State, St. John's, really?
For the
For which
7-10.
one?
7-10?
Oh, I thought we were doing 6-11.
Oh, we're doing 6-11.
I have Iowa State and Temple.
I have Kansas and Temple.
Interesting choice with Kansas.
I have Buffalo and Temple.
Buffalo.
Good team. I respect them.
Mhm.
But again, they're another team where, I don't see them moving up to that Kansas 5 spot.
Yeah.
I think Kansas is a team that'll hold that 5 spot even with their loss. And Buffalo will stay at the 6.
Yeah, I think I would say it's a great team. You know, they're obviously led by a good player in Mario Shayok, who didn't play last year.
Buffalo?
No.
Iowa.
I have Iowa State at that six spot.
Shayok isn't on Iowa State.
Yeah, he is.
He's in Iowa.
He's at Iowa State. Mario Shea plays for Iowa State. Here, I'll show you. Yeah, but I think that they got a good team over there, and they're in a tough division. So you see, look, Mario Shea, current team, Iowa State Cyclones men's basketball.
All right.
But I have them there, and then let's move down to that 7-10 matchup.
Yeah, I've got Iowa State at that spot versus Ole Miss.
I have Buffalo and St. John's there.
Interesting.
I have Iowa State, St. John's, and I see St. John's winning that game.
Yeah.
The 7-10 matchup is usually great games.
Yeah. I think that also I think I have Buffalo there just because I don't know too much about them, but they're a good team.
And then another one, LSU Wright State.
Yeah.
I have Radford at that 15 spot. I have Radford. Radford is a good school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radford
But
is
I
another.
see LSU winning that game.
Yeah, no doubt. But I have Radford as a 15 spot because Radford is a good school. They're not bad at all. Radford is. You can't sleep on them, but we'll see.
All right. Everybody knows that I'm a big LSU fan. To some level. But
To some level of football bandwagoning.
Yes.
Sort of.
No, not sort of. Yes.
But
Anyway, I think they got a good team. They're obviously led by a good coach in Will Wade. He used to coach at VCU, but he is. I want to see how this offseason how it plays out with Will Wade and LSU, and see if he moves up or see if he goes to jail for a couple of months.
Why would
illegal recruiting?
Illegal recruiting.
Yeah, and speaking of illegal recruiting, there are some teams such as Kansas.
Speaking of illegal recruiting, Duke.
Speaking of illegal recruiting, actually, Kansas owes about $1.1 million to the FBI in illegal recruiting. Same with a team that's well known as NC State, who paid former NC State star and New York Knicks starter point guard in Dennis Smith Jr. $250,000. So they owe about $500,000 back to the university. So so I'd like to see how Will Wade's career plays out. Let's move on to the East Division. At that one spot, I have Virginia and Norfolk State.
Whoever named Norfolk State. I wonder if they know Norfolk isn't a state.
Yeah.
Norfolk is not a state. But I really want them to win because I want to see another Virginia team.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Norfolk State. I was like, yay!
For a second, I was like, hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Okay,
I want to see
but
Norfolk State. I want to see another team in the state of Virginia play in the tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I don't see. Let's just move on. There's not much to talk about that game.
Yeah.
Although, after last year, I'm kind of worried about the 1 versus 16 spot.
Yeah, I'm worried about the lawsuits there. But let's move down to the 8 and 9.
UCF versus Wofford.
I have Wofford at that 18.
I'm a big UCF fan.
Taco Bowl.
I'm actually putting UCF at the 8 seed over Wofford.
Yes,
I respect that. I have them at the 8. Wofford at the 8. And UCF at the 9. I mean, that's a coin flip right there. I mean, yes, they're both top 25 teams, both caliber wins. But they, I mean, it can go either way. Let's move down one to the Nevada Lipscomb.
I don't have Lipscomb in that game.
Who do you have?
I have Nevada Yale in that game.
Interesting.
Nevada Yale.
That'll be an interesting game. I'd like to see how that plays out.
Because I think Yale is a team that could move up to that 12th seed.
Yeah, honestly, they could.
And I would like to see that.
Yeah. I mean, no doubt about that. But I think for Nevada is, can they really put themselves in the national spotlight in this tournament? Just because, going into this
they can
year,
with the Martin twins.
Yeah, but they're both seniors. So I just think if they can show themselves now, can they get some recruits and see what happens when they don't have the Martin twins. Let's move down one to the 4-13 matchup.
Yeah, that's what I've got. Kansas State Lipscomb.
I have Houston and Yale there.
Yeah, I have the same.
Interesting.
Wait.
I have
No,
Houston staying at a 3.
Even
after they lost to UCF, they're still a phenomenal team.
Whoa. What's Houston's record?
They're 27-2.
Okay, what's your team's record?
Kansas State.
No, he's talking about UVA. What's UVA?
No, Kansas State.
I mean, Kansas State, they're projected to win the Big 12.
No, I'm not talking. What's their
What is
record?
their record?
I mean, I'm looking at that right now. I mean, Kansas State, you know, they're, what is their record?
They're 23-7.
Huh. So 5 more losses than Houston.
But they played
But
better
they
games
have
than
a-
Houston.
Yes, but
Much harder.
I get that.
schedule.
But also I don't see them. Kansas State is a great team. Don't
Yeah, I've got them the 4.
I got them at a 4, but I don't think they move up because they have 7 losses.
I think they move
7
up.
losses is too much to be.
They've got there's another team they have to win their division to move up.
Definitely.
Yes,
But, I mean,
But
they're a good team. No doubt about that. They got Dean Smith, and he's a great player.
he's a good player.
He's
but-
not related to Dean Smith, the former UNC coach.
Yes. Okay.
the next one, Mississippi State. I have Mississippi State versus ODU. I have
Yeah.
ODU jumping from a 14 to 11.
I have their.
11.
I have.
I told you ODU's good, but I don't have them that good.
I switched around. Mississippi State and Louisville. I think Louisville's a good team. They have a hard schedule, but they can hang in with big teams, and I think they move into that 6-5.
I still see Louisville in that 7.
I see
They
that.
haven't played the way they set up their schedule. They didn't play all the good ACC teams twice.
Yeah,
They
I
played
think if
UVA once, they played Duke once, and they played Carolina twice.
they're actually playing UVA twice. They play them this Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
At 4 p.m. on ESPN.
But they played Wake Forest twice, and they played Pitt.
Yeah.
It's just they kind of made themselves an easy schedule,
Mhm.
and that's why I think they stay at that 7.
Okay.
If they made
Let's
themselves a
move
harder
down
schedule,
to that. Yeah. Let's
Okay, wait.
let's-
the Houston game.
The Houston
I
Old
have
Dominion.
Houston TCU.
Okay,
I
so
have K-State
TCU TCU can't be at the spot.
I think
No. They actually
It's impossible for
no, they
TCU.
can.
No, they can't. It's not allowed because they are
13
bigger.
to 16 teams are usually the smaller conferences. I think the lowest they can go is a 12.
Yeah.
I still see them. I see them in that 14.
Okay,
Fair.
we'll talk about that.
We'll talk
And-
about that later.
Houston. This is a team that we haven't seen
Be
good.
Yeah, we talked about that
since
yesterday.
Olajuwon and
And Clyde Drexler on that same team.
that
and
South
Joe.
Carolina lost in the Final Four.
Yeah, and that also lost to NC State the national championship in 1983. So-
And Houston, it's a team that I'm looking forward to see in the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now let's move on to Louisville. Now let's go to Louisville with a 7 versus 10. Florida is a good school, and I'm pretty sure do you guys have anybody else at that Florida spot?
I have that
No.
Florida spot, and I actually have them taken down Louisville.
That's interesting. We'll talk about that later. But that's okay. So Florida Louisville is a good school. That'll be a great matchup.
That will be
I
a great
actually
matchup.
think that Julie Kahn is amazing at predicting these things. So I'm gonna hit the bandwagon on this one, and go with Florida. I agree with him.
Yeah.
Now let's go to Michigan, South Dakota.
South Dakota
there's not
State University
really-
Jackrabbits.
Okay.
There's not really a competition
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
We can move on
Okay,
to that next
just
one.
wait.
Pool is going
Okay.
to single-handedly beat South Dakota
Yes.
State.
Yes.
You got that baller jump. You got that baller fade away.
Yes, I agree with that. So,
Let's go to the south parts of the bracket. Honestly, I know y'all disagree with me this earlier, but I just have Carolina there. I think I think we put that argument to
so-
rest to bury the hatchet.
I thought about it while you were talking about it. Like, after you were talking about it. And I agree.
I do not.
I see a phenomenal North Carolina
Yes,
team.
but
Thank you, Julie.
Okay, but
There's
wait.
3 seed
wait.
right now.
Yeah,
No, there are two.
No,
seeds.
there are
like
2
the
seed.
8 people, the 3.
Yes.
but listen.
And I can see them taking over that one spot from Duke.
Yes,
Because Duke has had some bad losses.
yes, I agree
They
with you.
lost to Virginia Tech.
Okay,
They
yes,
lost to Syracuse.
yes,
And they just barely beat Wake Forest.
yes. But also, you've got to remember. You have to remember that UNC wouldn't be at that spot. They would be in the West. Actually, they would.
I have them in the. I have
No,
them-
because they wouldn't be the second best.
it does. No, the numbers
Oh.
doesn't matter for it. The
So
numbers of
another-
the 1 seed does not matter.
one thing, if Duke is there, everybody gives Duke all this praise. Duke is a terrible team in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Virginia. Oh.
And
look.
I see them pulling a UVA and losing to Campbell in the
But
first round.
I'm just saying. I think we have to. I don't see that. But I just think that Duke. I mean, yes, I feel like we're hating on Duke a little bit. They have a great team,
Yeah.
and we cannot doubt that. So I just think Duke will be a very interesting team to watch, just to see how they have a bunch of young freshmen and how they have they play a little bit of how they play just a little bit of players. But I think it'll be
We're
interesting.
used to young freshmen coming out of Duke.
I
Okay.
don't think it'll be interesting to watch. I think
So
it'll be
I'm
very
going to give
interesting.
you, the viewers, a little warning. So I'm going to give them a warning about argument alert. There will be some arguments in the next 5 to 10 minutes about the South Conference.
Yeah.
With my poll pickups. So let's. So now Auburn versus Oklahoma I have, but I actually have Oklahoma as an
8.
8.
Yeah, I had that also.
I have the Oklahoma staying at the 9, but I also have them beating Auburn.
Yeah, and I think that if Duke goes, which you guys don't have, I think that if Duke goes, I think that Oklahoma's a great school, so I think that they could even make it to the Sweet 16.
I think Oklahoma, I put them at the 8th seed just because, yes, they've showed late season that they can play good teams, and they did beat Kansas last night, which is a quality win, a really good quad 1 win. Let's move down to that 5-12 spot. I have Maryland and Clemson.
I have Furman.
I have Marquette.
I see that.
I have Marquette
12?
there. No, I have them as a 5.
Okay.
I thought you said like 12. And I
I
was like,
was like, what? Yeah.
And then the 12, I have the Clemson Davidson, and I think that Davidson goes on and wins that.
Alright.
Not the 64 game,
But
but
the Ryan 68 game, or the first 4
The
games.
that
the
Davidson
first
team, who they've been getting attention since they brought in Steph
Yes.
Curry. And
and
I just don't
I
see
believe
them
that
getting into that
yeah,
game.
but I believe that if they do get into that game, Steph Curry will be at that game, and they will. That'll be a little Stephen drop.
Motivation.
Yeah. And now let's go down to the 4.
I have Marquette, UC Irvine.
UC Irvine. Yeah.
I have Purdue, UC Irvine.
UC Irvine.
So Purdue did just take that loss.
Yes.
Yes.
But it's one loss.
I know.
And I just don't see that loss dropping Purdue.
I know, but Purdue's a good school, but honestly, they're not the best. But I feel like even though I was hyping them up yesterday, I feel like they're a little bit. They get hyped up about stuff like this, and then the players get overhyped, which we saw last night.
That can hurt you.
Yeah, that can hurt you. Just no offense to UVA, but I think they got overhyped about
UVA was underhyped.
underhyped about that game. But I think that they will lose sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
now
next up, Iowa. I have Iowa, Washington.
you guys are gonna argue with this one. I
No,
have
wait.
Maryland.
I have Cincinnati, Washington. Sorry.
Sam, I have Cincinnati, Washington with Julia.
I have Maryland, Montana.
Montana. You really have Montana jumping
4 spots.
4 spots to a 10 seed.
I thought. Oh, we skipped Maryland, Montana.
I have Cincinnati.
We skipped 3-14.
We skipped 6-11.
Yeah, we
Oh,
skipped
6-11.
6-11.
That 6 seed, I have.
Cincinnati.
6 seed, I have Iowa, Alabama.
Yeah, same.
Oh my
I
gosh.
see Iowa jumping over Cincinnati.
Yes.
Okay, I disagree, but
Who
we'll
do you
see.
have there?
I have Cincinnati, Alabama. So I think we all agree on Alabama, though. Alabama, I think, has that spot
I think
left up.
Alabama's a lock up on that 11.
Yes.
Definitely.
And then let's go to Maryland, Montana
Maryland, Montana.
for 3 versus 14.
I have Purdue, Montana there. I just think Purdue.
Purdue's just.
Purdue's gonna stay.
Yeah, I know they are,
Purdue's
but
gonna stay.
I don't think that they will.
Okay.
I see Purdue, Montana in that game.
Sam, I'm gonna
Okay.
agree with you on that one.
But listen to my thing. I think that Maryland will win that conference championship.
Mhm.
I did some research last night, and Maryland's a good team.
Right.
We skipped past them when we talked about their
Big Ten.
yeah, the A10.
The Big Ten.
Oh, I was about to say.
I just don't. I respect Maryland.
Maryland could make
I just don't see them going above that 5 seed.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
see them dropping.
Okay.
I don't see them going up.
I see them going up, but
But anyway, my 7-10, I have Iowa, Washington.
yes, I do too.
Washington,
I have my 7-10. I have
part of that
Cincinnati,
awful
Washington.
division of the Pac-12.
I have Cincinnati, Washington there.
I have
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. I have Cincinnati,
Yeah.
Washington.
I have Iowa, Washington.
Okay.
And then the next one, Kentucky,
Loyola Chicago.
Loyola Chicago.
I
Yeah.
have
Everybody's favorite team.
actually
Sister G.
I have UNC at that spot.
I see that. I can see
I have
that.
UNC Loyola.
All right.
So UNC's a good team, but not. We've had this conversation twice, but they're not good enough to go up to the 1 spot. They're talented.
yeah.
They've got 2
They got a
players.
good program.
They've got a good
Mhm.
players, but they've got a couple of good players, and then once you go to their bench. Oh, and something that we forgot to talk about with VCU is they outscored their opponents. They haven't lost one game with their bench players.
Yeah.
Like even the Virginia game, we outscored you guys with our bench. Well, we outscored you.
on
Yeah.
the bench.
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
That kind of UVA. Everybody's bench outscores our bench
Yeah.
because nobody on our bench plays much.
Yeah.
Yes, but that also shows that we have a
Right.
deep lineup.
Yes.
Like,
Like a deep
yeah.
roster.
Um,
Let's move on
so-
to a little segment called
Impactful players.
Impactful Players. So let's talk about who we think the most impactful players going into this tournament. I think I'm
Well,
gonna start off
to
with
start,
RJ.
Zion Williamson and
Zion
RJ
Williams.
Barrett.
But I think RJ Barrett is probably the most impactful player for me because he can do everything that Zion can, but I feel like he can shoot a little bit better.
I think that Zion leads that team. You've seen the numbers. You've seen them.
Zion
Yeah.
definitely does lead that team.
Zion's like Superman.
We've seen the numbers with Zion. We've seen the numbers without Zion.
But-
he leads that team.
But why I say RJ Barrett? I'm giving no disrespect to Zion. Just he really
think
leads that
RJ
team without Zion.
Yes.
I think RJ is a better basketball player.
Yes, but
Yes, all
He's
right.
a smarter
Zi-
basketball player.
Zion is a better leader in my opinion.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think Zion is a very full of himself player.
But he's still a great player. We can't.
We can't take that away from
We
him.
can't. He's got God-given talent that we haven't seen since LeBron come out of high school
Right.
or OJ Mayo come out of high school because OJ Mayo was a sensation.
Yeah.
I honestly also I think I think Virginia. I think Virginia.
Virginia, I think they have at least 2 of them.
DeAndre Hunter.
And Ty Jerome.
Yeah, I mean DeAndre Hunter will be a top. Will be a top 10 pick, no doubt about that. He's a 6'8" guard. I think he can make a really big impactful for this Virginia team. Also,
And one of the sleepers on that EVA team that's an impactful player is Mamadi Diakite.
he's a good player.
He is a man, he's like 6'10", I believe.
Yeah, 6'10", 6'11".
And he can jump.
He got hops.
I personally think he can jump higher than Zion can.
Maybe.
I've seen Mamadi.
You
I
mean
saw
without
play.
height? Do you mean without height? Like without
Right, like
their
just
height?
vertical.
Just straight up jumping.
I've seen Mamadi Diakite
Get his head above the rim.
slap the shot clock.
Yeah.
And that's a high spot to jump for.
Yeah.
Did
But
he like jump on like the?
he hit it. He
He
touched
like
the ball.
jumped and slapped it.
No. But did he jump up on the rim and then hit it?
No.
No, he just straight up
He
jumped
just
it.
jumped.
Like
Well-
I've got a question. How do you think he out? Like was his foot
But not
higher?
important.
What? No, it is. Was his foot higher than
The rim.
the rim?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Also, I
10
think
foot vertical.
honestly, I think some very impactful players on I think Tennessee, Admiral Schofield and
Admiral Schofield. Yeah.
Grant Williams. They got I think they will be very impactful for this Tennessee team going into the tournament. Also, I think
Some impactful players for Nevada, actually, the Martin twins.
Martin twins are good.
They are a dynamic duo.
Yes,
they are-
that's a good one. Dynamic duo.
When they are clicking, they cannot be stopped.
Yeah. And also I think Another player that we could also look out for if this team gets into the tournament, Murray State's John Morant.
Yes.
I mean,
and I think they make it. I think that they win their conference.
It's tough
I
because
just don't see that Murray State team.
I think that they make the NIT
Yeah.
if they make it to the finals of the
And
conference,
we'll-
which they probably will.
And it's exciting for them to make the NIT because
You
we
know,
all
nobody,
get to watch more John Morant highlights.
and I think he'll go fourth in that NBA draft.
Another
maybe
guy,
possibly third.
another guy that I want to talk about, Syracuse's Tyus Battle.
Tyus Battle.
I think no matter what, Murray State makes the NIT.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyus Battle is a phenomenal player.
They're
He's a junior.
they'll be lucky.
Syracuse fans want him to stay, but I don't think he will. He can be a first-round pick.
Yeah. Also, 3 more impactful players that I have are 2 actually. Sorry, Luke May and Kobe White for Carolina.
Yeah.
Great team. They got a great dynamic duo over there, and they got a good team. They're much stronger defensively, and they've gotten a lot better on the offensive side of the ball. Also, I think we should look at some of the upset radar.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want to talk about 2 more players. Virginia Tech. Actually, yeah, 2 more players. Virginia Tech. They have Nickeil Alexander-Walker.
Yeah, he's a great player.
He scored that basket.
Yeah, he can put
can
that ball in the
score.
rim. In the
Um, And then another impactful player, UCF. You can't skip
Taco
out
Fall.
Taco Fall.
He's 7'6". I mean,
He's
you can't-
7'6".
You can't overlook. You can't overlook
You
it.
can't overlook him.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
that's
guys
somebody.
with the punny jokes.
That's somebody that'll stand out in the crowd.
I mean, I think
Definitely.
that he. I know you guys don't like me saying this, but I think that he could be a game changer in that UVA game.
Oh yeah, I think
Definitely.
he'd definitely be a very impactful player.
And I think he
if
could.
they make it
If
to the NBA.
if they win that game, if they do, and that's one of my big upsets that I might have, might not have,
Mhm.
might have not
Yeah.
have. But I think that he's just huge. He can. I've literally
child play.
I've
He takes the
literally
ball, holds
seen
it up his
I've
head.
literally seen
And
him
it's like
go up,
little
not
kids.
jump for the ball, and everybody's jumping up there trying to
And
get
he's
the
like-
ball, and he literally
looks down on
stands on his tippy toes and just puts it in the hoop.
Yeah, he doesn't have to jump. I bet you he could probably hit the top of the shot clock.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
he could probably.
I've seen
If the
his
shot clock.
wingspan is as long as a average door.
Yeah, I mean, let's go on to another segment, or probably our
Upset
last
alert.
upset alert. I think one team we gotta look at on the upset alert. For me, I'm gonna go. I think Yale. We gotta look at. We can't overpass Yale.
Okay, I have.
My big upset this year, not big, but yeah, Yale.
Yeah. Also,
Okay, whoa.
Alabama.
So go back to the Duke game.
Well, that's my biggest upset.
Actually,
That's
no.
just a Duke team that as long as I can remember, has not been great in the tournament.
The Duke's
Yes,
alone.
but
They
Also-
had that one national championship.
in the
with
same
Grayson
in the
Allen,
same
freshman she's looking for.
in the same South Conference, I have UNC versus Loyola Chicago. Loyola's going to be hyped for this game, and this is the kind of hype that I like to see.
Yeah.
When a team gets back from the Final Four and they're just all hyped up, all ready to go, and they're just. I feel like they could beat that UNC team.
I mean, they could, but I don't know. So yeah, thanks for watching listening to our podcast today. We will be back next time with we will fill out our brackets and tell y'all all about it. So have a beautiful day, and we'll see you next time on Anything is Possible in March.